Hey now. Hey everybody. Hey, it's your day. Hey, Photo Matt. How's everyone doing? Hola, hola. How are you, my dear? Hey, Kim. Hey, Com Theater. Hi, Allie. Hi, Louisa. Hi, everybody. Go Blue, that's right. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Manny Photos. Hey, hey. Kim, I had a weird dream last night that Allie and I visited you at your house up in the mountains. I don't know how that happened. Marissa! Hey, Freddie. What's up? Hello. Hey, Stephanie. What's up, Manny? Peace. I just saw, right? I just saw a broadcast yesterday that Alex Kahn did that I thought was very interesting, and I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but I happened to tune in, and he was talking about how one of the tips that you need to do, excited but crazy nervous. Because you're putting your stuff on auction today? Marissa's putting a couple of paintings up on auction today. You should check them out. She's good. But one of the things he said was you should start your broadcasts immediately. Don't take time welcoming people in because of the replay viewers. And hi, replay viewers. I respect you for showing up, and I love that you show up. Thank you to the replay viewers. But I still feel like, no disrespect to the replay viewers, but I need to give it a minute, at least a minute or two to say hello, welcome, because I want people to be here in the room when I start. I'll be conscious of not taking too long on the intro. Hey, Russia. How you doing in Russia? Hey, Jazzy's World. So, thanks, but Jason Stolkin deserves the credit. Oh, cool. I missed the side chat. Sorry. I'm distracted.
That is a brilliant idea.
Distracted Scoper. Oh, no, there were no kilts. Hey, SJ. Okay, so welcome to the newest edition of Steel Doug's Idea. Oh, it's okay, Marissa. Plug all you want. Hijacker. No, it's okay. My name is Doug Cohen. My wife is Allie. She's over here at her desk. I don't have the thing on you right now because I'm talking into my stand. You could come and hover and say hello over my shoulder if you want. You have a mouthful of food. You'll get to see Allie in all of her glory. She's eating. There she is. Look at her. Look at her go. We are FrameableFaces Photography. We are a photography studio here in the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, Michigan, Metro Detroit. It's a suburb of Detroit. We've been in this studio for a little over 6 years. Replay viewers know they are replay viewers. Exactly, Stephanie. That's kind of what I think. Hi, replay viewers. But every week I do this show, and I focus it mainly on small business, entrepreneur type approaches to social media and marketing. A lot of times it's focused on Periscope. Other times it's not necessarily centered around Periscope, but I've been doing social media for a long, long time. I do it for our studio all day, every day, and I also do it for the mall that we're in. So I do some community management with other brands. And the stuff, I don't know what's going on here. There's some, no, I'm not telling anything. Why would you ask me to tell something you want me to tell? It's my show. No offense. So today's topic, and I have a little presentation set up, and if you saw my tweet last night, you saw that there were 2 links in the tweet that were actually homework for today's Steel Doug's Idea. If you didn't do the homework, it's okay. I'll catch you up. It wasn't absolutely required. It was just, suggested a reading for today's topic. But the topic today is to the noobs. If you don't know what a noob is someone who's new. New to this, new in general. Yeah, homework, exactly, Kim. Trust your gut and run with it hard. And yes, Periscope is all that. So I'll explain a little bit. And I'm not going to get too crazy philosophical about trusting your gut in general. I'm trying to keep it as it relates to this specific example and to Periscope and to online marketing and running a small business. But obviously, trusting your gut is a big part of running a small business and being a successful entrepreneur, because sometimes there's no roadmap for what you're doing. That's part of what being an entrepreneur is, right? Inventing your own business, doing your own thing. And that's the beauty of it, and that's the fear of it. You can absolutely ask questions. Absolutely. Ask away. I don't mind asking questions. If it's on topic, I'll answer it. If it's something that I feel like needs a little extra time, I'll ask you to direct message me afterwards, and I will definitely answer any questions, whether it's here live or after the fact. Okay? So let's get rolling on this. And here we go. Bear with me, I'm adding a wide-angle lens. Okay, so there's the title. Here's our first point, okay? Last week we talked about upping your game. I don't know, for those of you who might not have been on last week's Steal Doug's Idea, we talked about upping your game and treating your Periscope channel as a network and really maximizing the potential of this platform, right? Well, okay, so this week we're going to talk about, for people who might be kind of new here, and even for the people who've been here a lot, this is always a good lesson to revisit. What if you don't have a game yet? You know, I told people to up their games, but if you don't have a game, if you're brand new and you're still trying to figure out what you're going to do here, Periscope Play As, then, you know, what should you do about that? What if you don't have a game yet? Well, here's a lesson about following your gut as it relates to that. Anytime there's a new social media platform, oh, thanks for inviting, Marissa. Anytime there's a new, hey, J.Dior, thanks for joining. As a coach, any on Periscope are doing about the same thing, how to differentiate. It's a good question. As a coach, I think it's hard to differentiate, and this is good. It's hard to necessarily differentiate yourself from all the other coaches and all the other material that's being shared as a coach. In my opinion, the way to differentiate is to kind of be yourself and stick with what's working for you and try to share your own take. Hi, Distinctly Dory. Try to share your own take on whatever topics it is, based on what you've seen, based on your own examples, based on what you do. Be consistent, and little by little, you'll connect with your own followers and your own tribe. Don't try to, you know, compete head-to-head with all the other coaches per se. Just do your thing. Just do your thing. Make connections with other coaches. Make connections with brands in your local footprint, in your community, where you can see people face-to-face. And I think that's one way to differentiate yourself amongst your own tribe of people, if that makes sense. So my lesson about following your gut as it relates to that, and follow your gut. You know, my gut, my first take on Periscope was literally right on the money. And this is actually something I am proud of. This was one of the homework assignments, no problem. This is one of the homework assignments that I put out there in my tweet last night, was to read these two blog posts. The first one, I'm going to try to set this up. Bear with me here. Okay, there we go. Can you see that okay? I need my wide-angle lens. Sorry.
It's good. Leave it just like that.
Really?
Yeah, it looks good.
I think it'll look better like this. Yeah, you can see the whole column. Okay, so this is an article that I wrote. Hi, Valvisser Photo. I wrote this article on April 6th of this year, okay? Periscope launched on March 26th. This was less than 3 weeks after Periscope launched. I wrote this article about 5 ways you can use Periscope to help your photography studio. I jumped on Periscope right away. And I started broadcasting, and I got the idea of what I thought this could do for our studio and how it would work. Hi, Photos by Mel C. And my gut told me that this was going to be the real deal. And I came up with some ways that I thought I could use it. And looking back now, 6 months later, these were my 5 things. 5 ways you can use Periscope to help your photography studio. How-to tutorials. Hello. How-to tutorials on how to take photos, photography stuff. You're sharing your knowledge. Building and jump-starting relationships with peers. And I put a screenshot here of a scope that I was on with Ross Sillers with my comment at the bottom to demonstrate how Periscope is used at the time. live broadcasts of photo shoots, which we do every week, all the time. It's fantastic. And here's a screenshot of a live photo shoot I had watched earlier that day when I wrote this post. Fun random happenings at your studio. For those who watch us, you can see that we do a lot of fun stuff, a lot of shenanigans. And number 5 was location scouting. Location scouting, which could be a lot of fun, and or a weekly thought or shout out that happens at the same time every week. Steal Doug's idea. Here it is. So all 5 of my points, and this was after literally using the platform for less than a week, and the platform hadn't even been out for 3 weeks. But my gut told me that this thing was going to be big and that it was going to be great for our studio and a great way to connect with people and share content. And so I ran with it. I ran with it hard. And I've scoped pretty much every day since, and over 200 broadcasts. And where can you find the blog? I tweeted it out last night. On the FrameableFaces Twitter. It's actually a guest post that I wrote for a blog called MCP Actions, which for photographers is actually a great website. The company's based here in West Bloomfield. Jody Friedman creates Photoshop Actions, and it's got a great blog. And I've guest blogged for it a few times. So this is one that I wrote back then. And then the other one I wanted to show you is a week after that. I was so hyped up and so excited about Periscope at the time. Exactly, it was on your homework, Kim, which you didn't do. No, it's all good. Thanks for inviting. A week after that post that I wrote for MCP Actions, I was so hyped up on Periscope. Hey, Mr. Mark D, your dog ate your homework. That my wheels were turning and I was learning about Periscope, and I wrote another post a week later on the FrameableFaces blog, which was the other link in the tweet that I tweeted out last night. Thanks for inviting. Which I titled, What You Need to Know So Far About Periscope. And I clarified so far because I went a little bit deeper into the platform and talked about, the fact that it's new, and I didn't want anybody that stumbled upon this post, a month later if it was already outdated and I hadn't updated it yet. Sup? I wanted to make it clear that, hey, this is evolving as we speak. But the one thing I want to call attention to on this post, and this post is a little more interesting because some of the stuff I wasn't right on the money on. The other one, my 5 points were spot on. This one, when I went a little deeper, I was still talking about, hey, Sonia, hey, how you doing? Hey, Lakes Anderson? Missed it, but thanks for coming. When I went into a little deeper dive, at that point, people were still talking about, when's Landscape going to come out? And there were some things that, even though now we have Landscape, I don't love to use Landscape for Periscope. So there were a few things in my follow-up take that, I was still, you can tell, I was still kind of trying to figure this thing out and learn about it. Hi, Emily. But the one thing that I think is kind of fun, sorry about my finger, hang on, that I think is kind of fun that I want to call attention to is look at this. This is the screenshot I shared. What's up? What you talking about, Willis? Hi, Sonia. What I love about this one is this screenshot that I put in that post. FrameableFaces, we had 605 hearts. And this was our profile. All it said was official Periscope of FrameableFaces photography, Doug and Allie Cohen. That's it. Thumbelina. And we had 43 following, and we were following 23. So, but my point is still, once again, I went into what is Periscope, viewing adventures on Periscope, some of the things I learned as a chatter, reusing and repurposing my broadcast, which I hadn't even figured out how to do yet. It was just something I thought would be cool to do. Excuse me. And that's it. So I know we were cute baby scopers. Yeah, it is, Sonia. Whoops. Oh, well, I'm just going to hold it. There were 2 blog posts that I wrote. Hey, tall boy. One was a guest post for a website called MCP Actions, and another was a follow-up post that I wrote for our own blog, FrameableFaces.com, and I tweeted out the links to both of those posts last night. So you can go to the FrameableFaces Twitter if you're curious to see them. The one that I wrote as the guest post for MCP, I love going back and looking at it because I feel I was 100% spot on about Periscope. less than 3 weeks after the app launched. Everything that I said I thought I'd be doing on it and that I thought it was good for has pretty much played out. And so that's kind of part of my lesson. Once we get back to the lesson here, that was my lesson about following your gut for small business owners and entrepreneurs. If your first impression, listen, how many times do you write a blog post? I blog every week, Sonia. If you go to FrameableFaces.com, at least once a week, sometimes 2-3 times a week. And I would love it if you check it out, because I think, we put the focus on, Sonia, I know like when you scope about clients and specific homes and closings and things that you do for your business. You're very good at scoping about your brand. And I think if you were to carry that over maybe to a blog, I know it's a lot of work, but you can at least see maybe some ideas on how we've blogged about our clients and our business. Because we do it, we're consistent. We've been consistently blogging. I do the blogging, and I've been doing it for years now for our studio. And so my point on this is that, listen, my finger is my point. No. Often your first take is going to be right on too. I don't think, exactly. Ichthus LQ. Hello from Russia. Oh, good. Oh, Sonia, you write too. Okay. I'll follow you for sure. Good. I'm glad to know that. But yeah, I don't think we've scratched the surface yet. It's still early in the game. And your first take on whatever it is that you do is often going to be right on. And, I feel good that my first take on Periscope was right on the money. Yeah, they're not just about photography, Sonia. I try to post about a lot of stuff. Small business lessons, life lessons, fun stuff. We try to, our blog, I think, takes on kind of the same personality that Periscope has been for us, which I think is part of the reason that we've been successful on Periscope, was because we always had a rich, hey now, what's up, John Ehrlichman? How you doing? Before Periscope, we always had a rich content strategy which covered not just our studio and photography, but fun stuff and life lessons and small business lessons. And we just took all that stuff that we were churning out on the blog and elsewhere and brought it to the Periscope stage, so to speak. So it's worked. And I think that's really important. I think if John Ehrlichman can attest to this, I think, anything that you do when you've got a channel or whatever your content strategy is, if you can mix it up and bring a lot of variety to the game, it's going to make for a much more interesting place to be and will help your following. Very unique mixing and matching what you do on Periscope. Yeah, for sure. And you know what? You'll see, Sonia, I don't know if you're looking at it right now, but we've repurposed the scope. So, for example, when we're on location with a high school senior and we broadcast a piece of it, we download it with QuickTime with the comments intact, and we put it right in the blog post so that when we share our finished images, you can see the broadcast from the session. Do you think it helps to have Allie or another person to bounce off and create content? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? Every time, and I think this annoys her, but I still do it, every time before I post a blog post, bring value to your scopes. Thanks. I really try. I like to share. And every time before I post a blog post, I have Allie look at it before I post it. And she's like, it's probably fine. I always say they're good. I'm like, no, I still want you to look at it. I always want, totally annoys me. Yeah, but I always want that second set of eyes on it. And it's her work. She's the photographer. You're in your car, but you'll check out for shizzle. Sweet. Oh, and okay, Sonia, we need to connect on all of these levels. We haven't done that yet, so I'm going to do that with you on YouTube too. Because that's the home for my repurposing, is YouTube as well. Okay, so let's crack on, as Mark Shaw would say. So, once again, I can confirm, so with your first take and with your gut, as it relates to Periscope, okay, if this seems like it's for you, I just proved, I think, that it is. Because that was 6 months ago that I said all these things were going to happen. Right, Allie. And it has. It's worked out and played out exactly as I suspected it would. This Periscope Summit that just happened in New York City was amazing. We didn't get to go, but we learned from watching it. And just to see the way the community came together, that stuff is real, folks. Let's connect. Yes, for sure, Sonia. Thanks for dropping in. Periscope is the real deal. And that's part of my message here is that Periscope is the real deal. And if your gut, if you're new, and the reason I felt like this was timely, I don't see a ton of them here. I see a few here now. But in the last week or so, hi, Boy Deco, I've noticed a whole new wave of new photographers to Periscope, like out of nowhere in the last week or so. Then we've done a few location scopes. Hey, Mel C, thanks for dropping in. Yeah, it'll be up for replay. I've noticed a ton of new photographers coming in on Periscope just in the last week or so. A lot of people that I didn't recognize that have followed us and that I've followed back. A lot of them with one heart. They haven't started scoping yet. They don't have a lot of followers yet. They're brand new. They're just checking it out. So, hey, money don't sleep. So if your gut, on a side note, you have to be happy with Big Blue this weekend. I couldn't be happier with Big Blue this weekend. Couldn't be happier. Yes. If your gut, as it relates to Periscope, as you're starting to get on board with this and you're starting to see what it's all about, hey, back at you. If your gut tells you that either A, that this isn't for you, that you don't have time for this or you don't quite get the live streaming thing, okay. Agree that it's from the... think it's from the Twitter and new Facebook share. But what? That a bunch of new photographers are here? Manny, you need to start. Yeah. Well, listen, Manny. Here's my point on this, as far as starting or where you need to go with this. If you think it's not for you, fine. If you think it is for you and it's legit, yes, it is. If you think you're not ready to broadcast, fine. And if you think this is a platform that's going to be best for you, yes, new photographers coming, yes. If you think this is a platform that's going to be a better place for you to learn than it is for you to teach, that's fine too. This platform can be different things for different people. Hey, what's up, Dave, the voice actor? You can use this for all these different things. You don't have to be a broadcaster. You can, and you don't have to be a broadcaster right away. You might think, wow, I really want to do this, but I got to figure out how I'm going to do it and get my game strong. Watch people. Just stick around and kind of watch for a while. You don't have to start broadcasting right away. Learn the lay of the land. Hey now. Learn the lay of the land, and figure out if this is a place where you can teach. This can be an excellent teaching tool and collaboration platform. 100%. Tasha Cole Photo, I'm so glad you're here. Tasha, so do it, guys. Promise it will be one of the best things you've done for your brand. Absolutely. And Tasha, I'm glad you're here because you, Tasha, I think, is part of what spurred my topic this week. I think you're part of the inspiration for this, Tasha. Number one, because you're still pretty new here on Periscope. You're not a new photographer, but you're new to this platform. And I think that a lot of the new photographers that I've seen jump on board lately, because there's been a wave of them. There's no denying that I've seen more photographers all of a sudden showing up on Periscope in the last week or two than I have in the previous 2-3 months, I feel like. It's just all of a sudden they're flooding in. And I kind of feel, I don't know this for sure, but I think Tasha, my perception, and maybe I'm off, but my perception so far is that, Tasha, that you've done an early good job here of connecting with other photographers on Periscope. Mark Kalachi in the house. No, I'm not saying that you're doing something wrong. Tasha, I think Tasha has been somebody, I think it just appears to me that one of your initial strategies on Periscope, not just to start scoping, and I know you and I have shared ideas about how to scope, but I think you've done a very good job initially of connecting with photographers, because a couple of times you've come into my scopes, you've invited people, and then a bunch of photographers show up. I think you've connected with more new photographers on Periscope maybe than I have, and I don't know if that's because of a group that you're in. I suspect it might be. But my point here is that I saw that all these new photographers were coming on board. I saw you were connected with them, and a lot of them have been watching our scopes. So I wanted to, hey, Mecca and Goma. Oh, yeah, good. I was hoping it was, no, not at all. And so my point is that once I start to see, like, I think as this platform grows with a lot of different businesses, not just photographers, I think you'll start to see kind of waves, like plateaus, if you will, When Sue Bryce or someone with a huge following scopes, there's a big surge of photogs. There you go. So there's probably some of that going on too. But I feel like there'll be new waves, like you're saying, Ola, of photographers and other businesses joining Periscope. And listen, it's still relatively early in the game. For the first few months of Periscope, everyone was saying, we're early adopters. There's so much opportunity. Jump on now. You know what? We're still relatively early. I mean, the platform's starting to mature a little bit. There's already been a summit now. They've learned from the summit. There's going to be a second summit. The community is coming together, and there's a network. I don't know if John Ehrlichman is still here or not, but he's part of he helped launch Parachute TV 1. It's a full-blown network on Periscope. So it's growing and it's maturing, but it's still relatively early. And a lot of people are jumping on. So I suspect, as for my next slide, I suspect that, hey, Jatana Verde, how you doing? I suspect there is a whole new wave of people discovering this, photographers and others. So if there's a wave, find ways to ride it. That's my message. Trust your gut. If you think this is for you, trust your gut if that's what you think, because you're probably right. Run with it. Don't forget, big names on Twitter don't even realize Periscope has made a profile for them yet. Yes! Crazy, right? So many times Periscope features a new scoper who's somebody famous and they have 10,000 followers and 1 heart.